and Rhea versus the Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, 3 Japanese women and an Aussie girl walk into a bar.
Now
they have a tag match.
Now, I like the little. I like the little team of Iyo and Rhea.
Okay.
It's growing on me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like how Io's being like a little puppy dog. Yeep, 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 yeep. You know, to Rhea.
Oh, Rhea.
But I think it would be fun and adorable or cute.
Okay.
If Iyo pulls herself away from the Kabuki warriors, like, okay, you're not my family anymore. I'm separating myself from you two. Mm-hmm. But then she needs somebody else to look up to. Mm-hmm. She's always looked up to somebody. Mm-hmm. And that person to fill the role without trying to would be Rhea.
Well, they did it on Monday.
No, but then she comes out in a whole black leather type outfit, you know, and then she tries to mimic her and everything. That might
be too far.
That would be so cute and hilarious. I would love that. I would love that.
That might be too
you
far.
know?
You might have to pull that one back just a little bit. Yeah. But they did have her come out. Rhea had a singles match on Raw, her whole entrance and everything, and Iyo came out with her.
No, I saw that.
So there was a whole thing with that.
I saw that.
I don't know if I want her
it was
dressed in goth garb.
It was a solid match. I just, again, one of those things where I felt like it was a little bit too long.
You were waiting for the stiff shots. You were just like, where is that pure soul, strong style?
For real,
shit?
because you had stated, how are they going to start this? How are they going to start the match? I said they need to start the match hitting each other for real. I need to hear the Gunther chops on these women. I was like, I need to hear, you know, the punches and the kicks and the screaming. They need to be for real. They need to be stiff in the beginning to make me feel like they're for real. But all we kept getting was fluff punches and fluff kicks. And I was like,
I was concerned about
you guys don't really want to kill each other. I wanted to see you guys kill each other, but you're not really in the ring for that. So what are we going to get?
I was concerned about how they were going to follow John and AJ. Despite what I feel about the match, the building was burnt after it. And your solution was perfect. We needed them to go out there and essentially have a fight.
I just noticed, does she always have 2 black strips in her hair? Iyo? Or did she just dye her hair a little partially black now? Wasn't it all red?
It might have been all red. I don't recall.
Yeah, all red. Is she getting a little bit black to be more like
well, that's her natural
Rhea?
Hair color. So she wouldn't have to... Or maybe she just undyed it. I don't know. One or the other.
Okay.
Well, yeah. The three Japanese women all together. I like them as a stable. I kind of liking them against each other. I have to admit, it's like whatchamacallit? The acting from the Kabuki Warriors and the Iyo Sky, the acting. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like the whole everything like that. It's too late for Rhea. Like I have to give them credit. They're trying to because they never really had a chance.
What did I say she reminds me of again? Asuka when she talks?
When she talks?
Shredder.
Yeah,
she's giving me like the Shredder voice
from
Teenage Mutant.
from the first movie, right?
Yeah,
when
from
he was
the first
talking.
One. Yeah. She's putting on a voice, though.
Yeah, she is
to be a villain.
Not only are they putting on a voice, I think they're playing up the Japanese part. Like, that's what they feel like Americans think they should sound like. Oh, Akari-san! I'm pretty sure that's not how they talk. As a matter of fact, this is the problem with when they have the post-shows and the pre-shows, is when they have this talent on, they're not usually in character when they do them. So what happens now is that you get to hear them, and it sounds completely different from what they present. That was the problem I felt like AEW had. Because they would do the pro show in character and it came off cartoonish. It just came off like like a high school play. Everyone was still playing the gimmick like Tony Storm. Anthony, we still have him like, what the fuck are you doing? This is supposed to be real journalists. It's supposed to be. We know that it's not, but it was supposed to be. And I don't give AEW shit for that because I think WWE did the same thing when they used to have the post show. Their post show now doesn't have any journalists in it. It's just them at a table talking to each other, which is a much more controlled atmosphere. The boys were getting into a lot of trouble with the questions because not everybody knows how to answer questions. Cody would know. Obviously, he's had the training, but like Jey Uso would get fucking flabbergasted. It was hurting gimmicks. Because they're great with the scripted promo. When you put him in front of a camera and a microphone and it's just a back and forth conversation with random people, it's hard. It's hard to be able to do that. I think
so you think they're doing better with scripts?
I think they're doing better with the scripts, but I think they're playing up. I said it earlier, and I kind of still feel that way. They are Japanese. They've lived their whole lives as Japanese women. But I feel like when they do this, it's almost still racist. Because it would be like, because I'm not full Chinese. But if all of a sudden I started going to shows and I was going in front of cameras, like, it feels wrong. It's like, that's not how, I just saw him on the train. He doesn't talk like that. Like you saying, like, I'm Chinese. But if I started ching-chonging on the microphone all of a sudden, it would come across uncomfortable.
Damn, the fact that you called it ching-chonging.
Well, that's what people that's what they lean on when they hear Chinese people talk. That kind of shit. Right. If I came out to Kung Fu fighting for no reason, it would be a fucking issue. Right? I mean, Asian people wouldn't probably care. They probably think it's funny. Like, other Japanese people probably see this, right? Like, back at the homeland, and they watch this, and they probably chuckle at it. Because they can tell they're putting that on, right? We don't fucking sound like that. But at the same time, that's the other side of it. I feel like they do it because that's how they feel Americans feel like they should sound. That's why I think the angle's working. How many times were they just Japanese women before this? And the audience didn't really, neither here nor there. They didn't really give a shit. Now, they're doing basically like low-budget anime characters where they're just like, oh, Asuka-san! And the whole time. And now everyone's completely into it. So, it's working, but I think that's why it's working. Because that's how Americans didn't give a shit until all of a sudden they became extras from like a One Piece episode.
It's working for now. But
I probably chose the wrong anime because that's the one that has a mixture of languages, but you get what I'm trying to say.
I also noticed, do you remember when we had the matches between Iyo and Rhea? There was 2 matches, everybody was like, both of them were dope. They were killer matches. They were so good. But you know what? Iyo did a lot in those matches. Yeah. And I feel like
she bumped around.
Here,
she was a bouncing ball. Yeah.
She did the same thing. Because remember when we were talking about Iyo and Rhea, and we were like, why are those matches so good? Is it Iyo or is it Rhea? Yeah. You know, and then when it was Iyo, Rhea, and Naomi, yeah, and we were still like, nah, it's still dope, but it definitely wasn't because of Naomi. Yeah. So it's still between those two.
Because those two found a way to fit Naomi into what they do.
I know, but here, it was a lot of Iyo. She was in there most of the time. So it was like Iyo and Asuka, Iyo and Kairi, Iyo and Asuka again. It was mostly Iyo in that ring, and I have to give it to her this time. It was her that made up a bulk of this match and made it good. And then Rhea came in at the end, you know, and she does her thing. But it was mostly her. Well, and I have to give it to her. She's like the Japanese workhorse.
Oh yeah, by far. Yeah.
You know, she's good.
She's really good.
She's coming up there.
I think her ability is what made the situation easier to have Rhea be on the outside. I think what they learned the last time they were in Australia for a PLE, because the last time they were in Australia, it was Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax 1-on-1. And what they learned from that match is that she's so over with the audience. And her frame. I know that you said that she's lost weight, she's lost muscle, and she has. She's probably more frail now than we've probably ever seen her. But she's still physically bigger than a lot of the girls. So it's hard for her to get sympathy as a babyface That's why they did the Nia Jax match. They figured with Nia, of course, she's so overbearingly powerful, it's going to be easy. The problem is that it's Nia, right? So nobody really buys into her. She's sloppy and the whole thing doesn't work. What they did sloppy. Here was they figured out, we're not going to have Rhea sell because that's just going to kill the audience. We need her to only be in parts where she absolutely shines, which is what they did here. But we do need a babyface to sell. So that's what Iyo's job was. Iyo had to come into this match knowing full well that she's taking all the bumps and Rhea's going to get all the glory. But it's for a good cause. We're in Australia. As soon as she tags the fuck in, this place is going to erupt. It's going to shake. It's the Steve Austin principle. Whenever Steve Austin was in tag matches, 6-man, 8-man, whatever, there was a cascade of people that would come in and out. You didn't see Steve till the end. Everyone who got in that ring built to get Steve in. And Steve would get pissed when it didn't happen and it got cut off. And he'd start throwing birds and people would just to build. And then finally, boom, here comes the tag. Here comes Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it's Stunner. It's Lou Thesz. It's all that. That's what they wanted for Rhea. So every time Iyo would get into the ring with Asuka, look right here as we're watching it in the background, they've cut the ring in half. Tag team wrestling. That was one of the things that I told you when we were watching live, remember? This is classic tag team wrestling. Male or female. The psychology is the same. You shined up the babyface. Now we're getting heat. We've cut the ring in half. They're putting in the work on Iyo Sky. Iyo just has to sit there and bump and sell all day. You get a few hope spots where Iyo kind of almost gets to Rhea, but they cut her off. They get closer and closer. Boom, hot tag. Here she comes.
Then we talked about this move.
Oh, the double stomp.
The double stomp, but I felt it was a double stomp on her shoulders.
Yeah, on her shoulders. It's the safest place to throw it. For her. It sucks for Kairi. Because when you throw it to the... Okay, so in that particular spot, when they have the leg grind like that, and she's kind of... If you notice, Iyo does a crunch. She kind of comes up a little bit. It's not a natural position. So in that spot, Kairi needs to move a little faster. She needs to throw that so that she doesn't expose Iyo for sitting there waiting for it. But I can see why they didn't do it so fast. Because Kairi wasn't in the right place when she set up. So it was kind of mistimed. But it still came out dope. So you have two choices in that situation when you mistime that. Okay? What Kairi needs to already be there before Iyo does the crunch. Right? But she wasn't there yet. So Io's like mid-crunch, core strength, all day, right? And then Kairi needs to come off with a double stomp, but she's already in the crunch. So now you're left with one of two options. You can throw the stomp like normal, but you're going to hit her right in the fucking gut, which has already been expanded because of the core, right? It's like doing a sit-up where if you do 3 sit-ups, you kind of feel it, but you're loose. If you do 1 sit-up and hold it for mad long, and then you let loose, you feel it more. So Io's already in crunch position. So I could throw it to her gut. It's going to fucking kill her. Or I could throw it to the shoulders. She can still take a decent bump. But I'm going to feel it now because my feet have already been dedicated to the shoulders. So now I got to fall on my knees. That's the only thing. So she chose, I'm not going to kill her. I'll just take it to my knees. That's what she chose. It doesn't come off as cool as if she would have just put her in the corner. If Asuka would have put her in the corner and Kairi would have just jumped up and just fucking murdered her. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't as safe. So they just rolled with it. So it doesn't look as cosmetically pleasing as the other option. Here goes the fury now between Rhea. See, that's all Rhea needed to do was just be a goddamn beast. That's it. That does more. And how long was this match that we say it was? This tag team match? This tag team match was 1955. So about 20 minutes?
20 minutes. 5
minutes of Rhea Ripley in a 20-minute match. Pure money. Pure money. She's look at the cell and everything. We're doing a variation of look at that kick. Shining Wizard. We're doing a small version of a watch along right now because it's on in the background to inspire us during our talking here. But yeah, you don't need much from Rhea Ripley to get the ball rolling on that.